Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day, we're the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator. Just.
Cal.
Roy, don't even look at me like that.
I can't help but look at you like that.
Face the other direction. If you got nothing nice to say, don't say
No,
anything.
it was with a sympathetic eye, mate.
It isn't. Warning.
How is your eye?
Which one? My good eye or my bad eye? Because my bad eye is fully functioning at the moment. I can't hit a single thing.
Just on a real spiral.
You got a few things right on the weekend.
Oh, did I?
Your captain picks were good.
Oh,
That's true.
yes.
You're helping other people.
I am helping other people.
Yeah.
Smashing captains.
Especially all those people that have Adam Treloar in their teams.
Well, that's it.
That was a ripper.
That was a
Thank
good one
you.
to get
Thank
in
you.
there.
Thanks for coming.
Well, you
because
captain yourself as well.
I did. Because it all comes down, and we'll talk this later, because the Scale of Hardness is getting ready to fire back up again.
It's
We're
ready.
going there.
Yeah, it's ready.
Yeah.
Because it's all coming down to the fixtures, the teams we play, matchups, because some teams out there, they don't care.
No.
They simply do not care about fantasy points, believe it or not.
Even if some teams cared, they don't have the ability to do anything about it.
No.
There's some really weak matchups.
Very
isn't there?
weak.
I
We'll
love
have a-
it.
Oh, isn't it great?
It
So
is.
for your 7th green vest of the season, Calvinator, out of 9 rounds,
Jesus, I know. I know.
what did you score?
Well, I scraped over again. So 21.03.
What did it do to your ranking, though?
It dropped me ranking badly, Roy. 2,100 spots down to just, 7,800-ish is where I am.
Have Moisey.
But I had some... Thing is, I've got so many... Look, compared to Man Dog, I've got unique players that just do not turn up, right? And every week, I just am getting... It's not bullets. This is just badly performed players.
Yeah.
So, do I need to bounce back? Yes. When? I don't know when that's going to happen. I can't help you.
You're confident it's going to, though. Your team looks good on paper.
Looks great on paper.
They're just not gelling.
The boys don't turn up.
I had plenty of average players as well, and I ended up with only just a bit better than you, Cal, with a 21.81, which had me slide down 300 spots. So thought I'd be moving in the right direction. And the sad thing is, on a Sunday afternoon, when you don't have anyone in the final game of the round,
Yep.
you get a little bit, well, maybe not too far ahead of yourselves, but thinking, this could be okay. And then bang, 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 bang,
Yeah,
bang.
here they
All those
come.
scores come on top of you, and you
Here
end
they
up
come.
there. So 2,300 now is my rank, Roy, but you're still in the top 1,000.
Well, so I must have been just below par. So 22.07 dropped me 50 spots to 725.
Yep. I reckon if you're in the top 2,000 or so, you probably wanted a 22.50 to call it a tick for a round, which was
agree.
big. It was a massive round.
Here it is! That's what you did, Jenny. You stuck it right up them.
I had an early one, the Friday night. Zach Butters.
Oh,
Calvin, you tried to talk me out of even making him vice captain because he'd cop attention. You can't stop Zach.
no,
He
you
slices through late.
He does.
He does.
Right through Butters.
He does.
One thing I'm trying to do with my team, Dog, is to wreck yours a bit. So, yes, I will throw you
that's
the
not
odd
part of your
curveball.
job.
Well, you've got to actually put in some work yourself, mate.
Well, I did. I thought Zach Butters would be a good captain. You
Yep.
said no. Okay, I'll listen to you because
tell you,
I'm the best captain picker in Australia.
I am the best captain picker in Australia, and occasionally I need to throw you a couple of curveballs, like you're trying to throw me.
What?
Too. Well, I don't know when we get to this. Did you
New
see what he put on
new
Twitter?
Section, new section.
Right, okay.
On Twitter.
Twitter.
On the tweet.
It's a new platform.
All right, Cal, you did make a good captain, though.
I did, and he saved me. So, yeah, my plus three's Nick Dacos, 131, who looked $1 million out there.
You came home with Dacos.
I came home with Dacos.
I like it.
I know. I had nothing else, Roy.
No.
Well, so you didn't take a vice captain score?
Did not, and we'll talk about him in a sec. I did not take a vice captain score, and I'm putting it down to you two as well. We'll get to that.
I had this. I'll tell you what. I was here watching the game
Were
at
you?
York Park, and I saw Jack Steele running for the coin toss with no strapping on his knee.
Make up your mind.
And
it's
I was
either
like,
sore or it's not.
Oh boy, we're
Yeah.
in for a big one. And a big one we got. He was back to his best, and his thirst was there. When he was on the bench, he was stuck on the bench for an extended period. Do you
Getting
think
angry.
he stayed there happily waving them off? No, there were arms up, there was finger pointing.
Ooh.
And I was like, Steele is back. And
He
he was.
should have pulled rank a little bit better, though. because he honestly needed to be out there. His time on ground could have been increased if he had pulled the captain's card on that a bit better.
It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen.
Because it's just not acceptable.
So while I had Butters going all right there on Friday night, Tom Stewart, it was game over early on too. He got really angry in the first minute of the game. Yep. Then he was moved to a wing, and that bloody McEntee just made him look silly for the game. 64 points from Tom Stewart. A shocking hold. A couple of weeks ago when you traded him out, Cow.
Genius.
And I thought I was doing the right thing by holding on to my premium.
My good eye was active that day, right?
What about you, Destroy?
Clarkey, similar to you.
Oh!
Got tagged by Jordan. Jordan is becoming a real pest. He sucked in our teams and now he's wrecking players that he's tagging. So Clark, he worked hard, but he just couldn't get it done.
Now, you can't just manifest Clark not getting tagged, even though the flags were there, and that was being told to both of you.
We tried to put the idea out there.
That's it. We got to try our best.
Head.
Yes,
and it was no, he was never going to Luke Ryan.
No, he certainly was not.
And
Ryan came home like a steam train. Just off topic,
he did
55 in the last quarter. I thought he could have given Clarkey the kickouts at least.
He could have.
He was massive there, Calvin.
Okay,
this is what we've been waiting for.
I know. Stink by name, stink by nature. Jack Sinclair, right? He scored 59. I went back through the books, Roy. That's his lowest score in 2.5 years.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
In a game, and we're like, okay, it was only the half-backers racked up. And they did. Bonner and Wangneen Miller, they had great scores. Meanwhile, Steele's in the middle next to him, scoring an extra 70 points more than what he got.
So why?
What do you mean, why?
How did this happen?
It all comes down to the knee strapping.
It does.
It affects everyone.
The weasel. He finds another way to hurt you.
Oh, I just don't understand. So I don't understand how a guy can basically score 100 points less than what he did the week before in one of the easiest matchups known to man.
Especially when there were a few points there
were
for
heaps
his
of
old
points.
role when he used to hang off that half-back with the Boner and Nasiah.
But he scored his 150 last week with CBAs.
It's because the strapping was off Steele and he gets all the pill.
Anyway, that's a shocking trade in by me. And I thought you were doing it too.
I was until we were walking up the stairs to the function centre.
Right, here's the thing. You guys are over there in the function centre.
Yes.
Right? Probably not even watching the game.
There wasn't much.
Right? Could you at least help me out a little bit?
No.
By yelling at the stink.
No, there was a bit of
We were
giggling
laughing.
when he was
What's
dropping
he
his
giggling?
marks and that. So we're walking up the stairs and I said, okay, Warren, I'll have a look at him in the warm-up because I was looking at Stink too.
Right.
And Warnie said, imagine if he sucks, it will wreck your whole your whole day up here. And I was like, I can't have that. So actually I dogged that one.
Good one, dog. Thanks for the
I'm
message.
very rarely wrong.
Thanks for the message.
You stopped listening to me when I told you that Clark would cop the tag.
I stopped listening to you before that, mate. Long time before that.
Right. No, it was good up there. Thanks, Youngie. He was a good man.
Yes,
Looked
it
after
was.
us, and we did get to meet the PM who has offered us a new office.
Has he?
Yes.
In the redevelopment.
Am I invited to that? Like
No.
I was invited to the function?
You're gonna have a new outhouse to sit in.
Doghouse.
Yeah, you will be there. Right, the weekend was good for some coaches. Tim and Sam both dominated for the week with a 24-49.
Oh, no.
A lot
Goodness.
more than
Team's
what we
doing
scored.
that.
Two legends there as well. So Tim's got his team up, the Drunk Monkeys, into 296th overall.
Well done.
And Sam had probably a pretty big jump, up to 27,000th now he is.
Oh,
overall.
wow.
So good work to those coaches. So the overall leader now is Baden and the Bandits of Barbados.
Love it.
They are in first place with Brady's team, B Dizzle 90, in second place there. And the Hat Watch, got to always look at that, who is sitting there in 100th spot, and that is Charlie. Remember the top 100, get a hat, which is epic. So Dylan Moore Beers is the coach that's sitting in 100th. But Cow, your mate Jimmy.
Jimmy.
This is a shocking story.
Okay.
Last week was ranked 5th overall, that overall ranking, for every single week altogether. Looking pretty good.
Had his hand on the car.
Yep, he's been shopping for it.
Yep.
I've heard that he's actually gone down to the local Toyota and have a look at what the Hiluxes look like.
So he slid to, he's out past 120 mark now. And I sent him a message and said, what happened?
Okay. You can't drop that many spots in 1 week.
Listen to what he did. People are going to not believe this. This is legit. So he had Butters and Saligo coming in, then changed it to Sinclair and Parrish. Right?
Ouch.
So that hurts already.
Yes.
Ouch.
But on the reverse of the trade, it ended up with Roberts with the captaincy.
I could vomit.
And
I
he
feel sick for him.
Didn't change it, didn't see it or whatever. He's fuming at himself, right?
I reckon.
He's very angry about the players he traded in.
Yeah, rightfully so.
And he's also obviously very, what's the word? Yeah, I don't know if there's a word for it, to be honest, Roy. But with Roberts as captain, if you're coming fifth in the world...
And you've got a bloke that had 39, who would have been the last person on his field that he would have chosen as captain as well. You've just got to double-check your teams. Triple-check. Whatever you need to do. You cannot be going into any game. If you need to set an alarm before each game, just go check your team and just make sure that C or V or E or whatever it is isn't on the wrong person.
Look, I'm coming 8,000, and I check my team a lot, Roy. Right?
Could Roberts not have done something semi-human, though?
An 80.
Yes.
Give him an 80 for... Oh, my goodness.
Still might have been in the top 100 at least.
Now, Jimmy's got to... He'll fight back from there.
He will, but...
He's a bit more glass half full than I would be in that situation.
Yeah, that's a phone throw.
Yes, it is. Massive.
Votes are in for the Michael Barlow medal. That's our cash cow of the year for round 9, and Jeremy Sharp gets the 5 votes. He was epic on the wing, and I cheered very loudly for his last 2-quarter goals that he kicked as he dropped the season high 118 points.
Wow.
Pretty stoked. He's still part of my squad, Galvinator.
I'm a bit jealous of that. A couple of goals up in Darwin helped Sam Closey to 100 points and the 4 votes. What a great cash cow he's been since coming into the Suns lineup in round 4.
Another 30 disposals for my boy Colby McKercher, earning him the 3 votes. Those who held Roy and those who brought him back in would be pumped with his 88.
Certainly would. I got to see Darcy Wilson firsthand in Launceston on Saturday. He was everywhere, boosting his score with 6 tackles.
Sorry, mate.
I was just going to say he had 87 points and 2 votes, mate.
He did. Caleb Windsor gets the 1 vote after racking up 84 points on Thursday night. The goal off the deck was the cherry on top.
Right, the leaderboard has Matt Roberts on top with 21 votes, but Colby McKercher and Jeremy Sharp now equal second on 18. Darcy Wilson's up to 13 votes, and Sam Closey jumps into 5th with 12 votes.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
We didn't cop as much this week as what we may have done last week, but there are a few things there that will affect some of our thinking, I reckon. Yep. So Thursday night footy saw Adam Chereroy hamstring.
Yeah,
so that bloke's midfield, it changes all the time, doesn't it? That's what's going on there.
Yep, there's people back on the radar again.
And the big pit bull hurt his finger, had surgery. So it's not brutal, but he might miss 1 or 2. Yep. So could be something there that, Tom DeConning fans, draft, 100%. Might be handy for them.
Upside for him. Yeah.
Jeremy Cameron, concussion on Friday night. Now, they said he's going to miss. That was one of those delayed concussions, but I think that we probably could have picked it at the time.
I think so.
Might have happened there. Tom Hawkins is also going to be rested. So even though with Cameron out, Hawkins will still miss because that was their plan to rest him. So they'll be going out without their 2 big boys up in Darwin on Thursday night.
Slippery anyway, Roy.
It is.
They wouldn't have caught the ball.
Max Holmes, he'll be a watch with his leg. He's been very good, actually, these last couple of weeks. He's got his defender status now. Jordan Sweet should be back this week, so he's out with the illness. But Vicentini was all right.
He was solid.
Did his job.
Now, Sick Dog, he missed on Saturday and he may not be back. So James Sicily could be out still for the Hawks. Tom Green, he played. That was almost a bit dramatic because the VFL game was beforehand and Peatling was the only one not playing out of the emergencies there. And it was like going, this has got it written all over it. But he played, scored 98, so you'll take that every day of the week.
That was enough, yes, for sure.
His price is falling very nice for us non-owners of Tom Green. Now, Tigers lost a couple there. Banks with concussion, Graham with a hammy, and Morris Rioli, which wasn't as it was still bad, but Sindez, bit of surgery. It could look like that could have been absolutely brutal when he went down. Vandermeer, he may miss with his shin. North Melbourne lost Archer with a foot. Now, Howe had to play forward for the Pies, and He's done a bit of a groin adductor or something like that. He was subbed out, but that sort of it was a bit brutal for them too. With Bytel, he was the sub, came on, was concussed in the end. So the Pies are in a bit of world of trouble with clientele, but that might be good for us for fantasy footy. Petracca hurt his ankle early on, and McGovern, big brutal hit there on him, and he's got some internal injuries, so that'll be a bit of a watch there. And Josh Worrell, your Crows don't make very good decisions with their subs.
That was a terrible sub.
So they made a sub before half time or at half time,
and it was because Curtin was doing nothing.
Yeah,
he's really.
What did he score? 8.
Yeah. It was not good, Roy.
So he's been subbed out both games, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he'll spend a lot of time back in the sample now, I'm tipping.
Worrell with that wrist, that happened in the third quarter, not long after the sub was made there. A couple of things from Magoo's news, and old mate Binzi.
Yeah, he did it.
He dominates. 42 disposals, 11 marks, and 168. Luke Parker, still in the VFL. He scored 84.
Oh, no, he's getting disinterested.
Yes.
No.
Is that enough to get back in?
He's back in. How many? He's probably had 3 now, has he?
Yeah, but they were all good games too, this one.
Well, he only played half a game, I reckon, right?
Not even knocking on the door
Getting
with
him
that.
ready. Getting him
Let
ready.
the Heaney wheeze. Who else we got there? Zach Reid.
Oh.
Who's got him rotten on the bench? Well, he may not be rotten anymore because 97 points he scored, 27 disposals, 10 marks. Although tough to break into the Bombers at the moment.
I hate to say it,
but I reckon he will get a game very soon, because we need a big defender.
Hopefully around the buys, Roy. Pops his head back in.
That would be handy, but you're losing a loophole cow.
I know. That's all right. We'll find another one.
Graham, he could have been a loophole. However, he scored 87. He had 22 disposals and 6 tackles, so does his thing tackling. Does he get back in up there? They won. They only beat North Melbourne, but he didn't even make the emergency list. So was it? It's interesting how that sits for him. But he's made a fair bit of coin because what is he, about 490 or something? Isn't he?
He's a fair bit.
He's done it right. They played against Southport, and just a shout out to our man Boyd Woodcock, 30 disposal goal. He just
that's what he does.
Tons for fun up
Doesn't
there.
he ever?
For Southport, the old Sharks. Now, Ryley Sanders.
Oh, okay.
Come on now.
Come on.
He might be able to get back into a team that won like that, but surely, 42 disposals, 8 tackles, a goal, and 139 fantasy points in the VFL game.
I don't know what he's being asked to do, but surely he's doing it.
He's done it. Look, I haven't flipped the table yet, Roy. But Thursday night, he comes into that team 100%. He has to.
He can be going well, but you can always be better. He makes them better.
So Vandermeer was subbed off injured. There's a spot. Mm-hmm. There's some other players there that are lucky to even be there.
Yes.
You always say, if you walk past these guys on the street, Roy, would you know who they were?
No.
We'll head to the Waffle, and we saw Erasmus rack up 144. Now for the Eagles, Gaffey, 113. But Cully could be the one to watch here. 110 he scored. He's had a few games there in the Waffle and might get a gig this week. So, I don't know. I just had a bit of a look and think he could be obviously a draft one. But
big draft.
A mid-forward at 518K. That's the sort of areas that we could shop in.
I agree. I'm a big Cully fan.
Yeah.
You always have been.
But with a forward status and that price, that's tempting.
There's not much else happening.
There's
in the
not much else going on there, Roy.
Yeah.
And Clay Hall had a 69 there. And the one last little bit of news was that apparently Zorko's resting this week.
That's not true. Now, because, let's get to it.
People start losing the plot on some of these things.
You tweeted that out last night.
Yes.
Trying to get it. Why poke me? I'm down already.
Because
I'm not the one you should be having a go at.
No, I didn't like that there was something that you could enjoy in your team. And that's Zorko's success. And, sorry.
So
I
you
actually
tweeted out that he was going to rest, and when I looked at it, the article was from 2023.
Yeah. Now,
which correlates with the game this week.
It does.
Yeah.
It was elite work for me, I must admit, and pat myself on the back. But I've always owed you one since the Burgoynes.
Yeah.
And it's taken me years to finally... Did your heart flutter a little?
100%. Yeah. I was looking for that delete team button.
Rightio, let's get into the big issues of the week. And Cal, you mentioned the scale of hardness is starting to take some good shape and probably affects what we think about over these next few weeks.
Red, green,
Hardness.
We need to have a look because there are some teams that I don't like using the term bloodbath lightly, Roy, but they give up so many points. So on the weekend, we saw what the Bulldogs did to Richmond. Treloar 150, Richards 141, Bont 126, Harms 130, right? There were 7 tons in that game.
Yeah.
So there are basically 5 or so teams at the moment that just give up so many points. And they are Richmond, North Melbourne, Geelong, believe it or not. They're like in the top 3. West Coast are still doing it, and the Hawks.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at some midfielders who play those teams coming up. So there's 5 of them. Adelaide play 3 of those teams in the next 4 weeks.
Wow.
3. Richmond, it's Brisbane go Richmond and Hawthorn and then into their bye. Butters goes, well, he had Geelong last week for that 128 green matchup, into Hawthorn,
Green.
into North Melbourne.
Oh, wow.
Even more green.
And then he goes Carlton, and then he has that nice bye in round 13.
Yeah.
So even for people looking to bring in Oliver, Petracca this week, they've obviously got West Coast. They've got a pretty cruisy run without any real issues to their bye. And then after their bye, they go North Melbourne, Brisbane, West Coast. So as far as midfielders go, the best coming up with a run is Adelaide, Brisbane. Oh, I missed that one. Essendon, they go North Melbourne into Richmond.
Yeah.
Melbourne has got a good run, and obviously Port Adelaide have a good run as well. I want to have a quick chat about defenders because there's a little trend at the moment in these halfbacks being tagged. We all know that's where the points are, and dudes have been cashing in back there. But lately, we've seen a few people like James Jordan.
Yep.
He went to, who did he go to a couple of weeks ago?
So he's gone, I think, is it Whitfield?
Whitfield.
And Clark.
And Clark, yes. These have been his last 2 victims. And the other one would be McEntee, who went to Tom Stewart last week. Yeah. Could go to maybe a Sam Flanders on Thursday night.
Yeah.
But there's a few people starting to pop their head up that are damaging what is an easy role to shut down.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's where our access to points were. Very much so in that. So your takeaways, I guess, from the Scale of Hardness V8, like how much do we take that into these next few weeks, and does it help us with our trades for the buys?
It should decide any 50-50 decisions. Yeah. So, like, the scale for me, because I brought in old mate Saligo. Saligo. He racked up. Again?
He went overs.
Didn't have a mark. Only a couple of tackles. Didn't do a lot.
He had 10 last
week.
But
his run coming up should be great for me to get to that bye in round 15, which is the last one. So he's got 3 easy games in that 5-week patch.
Yeah.
So you brought in Saligo and Sinclair this week.
Yeah. Ouch. Isn't that good, isn't it? Think about what they had the week before, like combined for like 270.
Oh, we'll just keep chasing last week's
Well,
score,
that's what I'm trying to do. No. So, yeah, those guys will bring in Oliver. You tick that off this week. So, yeah, there you go. Plenty of options there, dog. And when it even comes to captaincy, that's something, I don't want to give away my secrets, but that's a huge factor. Anyone playing against these teams must be targeted, which is why I went at Treloar last week. It was my number 3 overall.
Yep.
Just because if you can feel stat lines against these teams, you're going to have a day out. So this week against Richmond is Brisbane at the Gabba.
Yeah.
So Dunkley will tackle his way to a big one. But Zork on your fork, if he plays, Roy, if he's not a laid out, Zork could feast on the Tigers. However, the half-back guys weren't great last week. So Bailey Dale had his opportunity. He only got 104 with 6 marks. It was the midfielders, Treloar, Richards and Bont, who had the bulks. They're 3 big bananas in there.
Yeah.
Well, they getting to half-back.
Yep. They averaged 140.
Yeah.
So any midfielder playing against Richmond needs to be targeted, and Dunkley, even a Neil, they'll be right up there this week.
Right, we've got a few talking points across the lines. Let's start in defence, and we'll start negatively, and that is Harry Sheezel.
That's an issue.
And we talk defender, but he's not a defender anymore.
No, and he's not even just a midfielder.
So
it's as bad as it could be.
What'd you say CBA's work out?
I'm just flicking that up now, dog. They weren't high. It was about 30%.
Yeah. And he was pretty much half forward there, and then got like most of his pill in the forward half as well.
He did.
He had more touches in the forward 50 than the back 50. And zero kick-ins, Roy.
So he scored 71.
Yep.
And
89
had 89
the
the
week
week. Yeah.
before.
So his break-even's up to 167 after being like, I think he was 1.06 million at one point, and now he's under $1 million.
Rapidly dropping.
Is there a world that we trade him out?
Roy?
It can be done.
Yeah,
It can honestly be done. I don't think I'm an attacking enough coach to do this, but it is 100% in play.
So what scenario basis that you could do it with?
So for me, because there's so much DPP this year, everyone's got access to a player on every line.
Yep.
Clayton Oliver has to be one of the bargains of the competition this week. That's 2 good scores in a row for him. So using DPP, Dog, she's down to someone like that.
250K there.
So it gets a rookie off the ground.
Easily.
On the flip side.
Like if you were a Matt Roberts owner.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was sitting on your field, that gets him up to someone decent.
Yep. And if you had a bit of cash in the bank, it's a proper premium.
It is.
So it's in play for some people.
Is that so? You're saying you'll think about it, but you won't do it?
Yeah, it's a 30% chance of happening. Yeah.
Gosh. Where does he sit in your role in 22? Is he going to stay in the 6?
He might be down the bottom. He has to drop. He's been sitting at number one.
Yeah.
He's gone. Dacos is obviously number 1 now.
The thing is, it's
so role dependent, isn't it?
It's
just
that's the
what
thing.
it is.
See, this isn't even just Roy Actionary.
No.
This is the dudes now playing forward. They don't
listened to
even
Kane
get
too much.
They have. They don't even get the ball forward.
Yep.
So what's he supposed to do? Yeah, no, he's going to drop and drop hard. And given the amount of defenders that can rack up, Dog, he might be back in the mix. He might go from number 1 to in the mix. That's how extreme this is.
The boner.
The blanket.
The boner's ahead of him.
He is.
He had 129.
He is.
He did. Good matchup.
So you just spoke a moment ago about role dependent. Ed Richards. Libba was out. He went back. I think he was their number 1 banana in the middle.
He was.
And he's pumped out a massive score.
So they've loved him putting him in there, haven't they? They've done it a few times now. And like, is his score, like that was a big score, obviously, that he had. But has he been doing that even when he's had the role?
No. He's been a 70s guy. So he's a guy you wouldn't buy into, but it's just looking at that. If you're a midfielder versus the Tigers, they just put points on a platter for you.
Crispy, what did he have on the weekend?
He's been awesome. Yeah. So that's 2 weeks where he's got a run through the middle again, and you just cannot go there. So
No, you can't.
I got a lot of questions asking me whether to. No, you just can't. You got to Goey and Pig Mitchell coming back in.
All these kids.
And the kids. He'll get pushed back out. So, draft owners would have rejoiced at seeing...
That's a blessing.
He can do that. But no.
And the big
answer
thing is,
no,
though, we
don't
talk
go there.
about now this is matchup dependent.
Yes.
He had that against West Coast.
Yeah.
The Scale of Hardness, Cow. What did they say about the Weagles? Well, they're not that bad, though, are they?
No, they're not as bad as they used
What
to
is
be.
it? It's about 4th, though, isn't it?
Yeah. They used to be number 1 with North Melbourne, but now they're still behind Geelong.
He's still got every opportunity there to do that.
Yes, he does.
That's the thing. Now, you blokes, I'm going to find the tapes on that because I think you both said you should take Sinclair over Dacos.
Look, I'm trying hard to improve rank.
Well,
that's one way to do it.
I'm pretty sure I did, and I would have, which is really disgusting move. But I already had Dacos. But at $913,000, that is the biggest steal going around.
If you haven't got Dacos yet, you've got no excuses. Could that be a Sheezel to Dacos move?
Yes.
And bank yourself 80-odd K?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's an upgrade.
Because one's
and
going
a cash grab.
Yep. So break even of 84.
And that could be the coin that you just need to put on top of someone because that's even like, and I'll use the Matt Roberts one as a simple example. I think it's about 120K from him to Oliver.
Yeah, it is a rough. Yep.
And so you're going, if you've got the ability to do that.
Yes. It's almost a no-brainer, isn't it?
Because we have to say that, Roberts has to go. There is no if, buts or whatever, especially if you're playing on field or let alone if he's on the bench because he's going backwards now because he's gone,
really backwards.
He dropped 30K this week.
Yep.
And it's only going to be a little bit further if, A, he keeps doing what he's done these last couple, but... Yeah. All right. What about in the midfield then? Where could we go shopping? We've talked to Oliver. So he's probably the real value guy. If you want to talk, then they've got West Coast this week.
Yeah.
Petracca. Guess what? He has West Coast as well because they play on the same
in the same team.
Stuff.
Correct.
But he's at 815K. He did need 5 goals to score his 134. Is he some value?
Gosh, if he gets forward status, he certainly will be. But
He'd need to do a bit of work to get that, I reckon.
his value, no doubt about it, 8.15. But there's no way I'd be going there. I actually have more faith in Oliver.
Yeah.
Than
Well,
Petracca.
what's that? You're saving 90K.
Yeah.
And that would be money well saved.
So Oliver has looked different the last 2 weeks, and his scores have reflected that. So 99 and 106, break even of 74. I think he just ticks a lot more boxes than Petracca.
Agree. So Petracca only had 30% of the CBAs last week. He was a banana behind Warnie, Oliver, Sparrow, Neil Bullen.
Wow. And that role, because he's so good at it,
Yes.
it may not change.
He'll
too
kick
much.
10 on the weekend.
Well, that's the thing. They've been struggling for access to goals,
Yep.
and then you throw him up there, and he's doing that.
Instant access.
Now, if you were thinking about Petracca at 8.15, for 2K more, you can get Tom Green at
that's where you're
8.17.
going.
So, thing is, though, my little gut feel of him was, I just thought he was going to miss this week, and I was doing my maths.
Oh, you're a sicko.
Well, no, it's called smart coaching. Thinking about getting him off his bye. And because the timing of that would work nicely, because I've got a bloke that you shouldn't have traded out yet, and that's Jeremy Sharp. That's going to be a nice
that
little
hurt me.
sideways.
Have you got Sharpie?
No.
Sideways trade, essentially. But that's where I was thinking, because Sharp's got the round 13 bye, Green's got the round 12 bye, timing would work out perfectly. But he's got to break even 113, which is obviously achievable for Tom Green, well achievable.
Yeah.
Could you launch into him now rather than trying to wait?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah,
So he's at home this week against the Bulldogs, and then he has the Geelong matchup the week after. So you'd think in the next two he could go at 110.
So, yeah, he's got 2 games before that bye. It's probably going to be a little bit what your team's looking like with the bye structure and all that sort of stuff, what you can do. Because that's the thing. I've got the coin where I could go Green instead of Oliver. I know who I'd prefer.
Yes.
But is that
Do you play
90K?
the total value
But
game?
it's not
Yeah.
like when I say 90K is 90K. Still not that much if I can be getting Tom Green.
No.
He was going at 130 over those first few.
Nah, so I'm 100% with you on like the value players in full play, at the moment, because it's getting the rookies off the ground, and you're still ending up with a respectable team like Oliver. Let's face it.
If he's
started
my
the year at
M7.
about $1 million, but Tom Green is a legit top 8 midfielder this year, and that price, it's like you're not going to be able to get him that cheap for very long. If your team is in a position where you can do it now, I kind of think you just go
It's
now.
hard.
don't
It's
you?
so hard because Oliver's run is good.
It is.
That's why I've swung that way.
Yeah, I can understand
And
it.
I don't think Green's going to get out of reach over the next 2 weeks.
You wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so.
Like he's still going to be low 8s.
Yes.
As a pick.
It'll be a bargain for what? 3 or 4 weeks, probably.
Yeah. So, in all honesty, and that's where part of this brain has been going, is that off his bye.
Yeah.
That's almost like your little kissed on it play because that's where
I think it's close enough for you to do that.
he's got that. So it's a tough one. I know who I'd prefer. And this is that conversation. It's a little bit like your Dacos versus Sinclair one, Cow, and you were all hot on Sinclair over Dacos in all your advice you gave over the last week. It comes back to, and I think I probably said this walking upstairs to Roy, who would you, 6 weeks ago, if I said to you at the same price, who would you prefer in your team?
Yeah.
And you didn't even blink saying Dacos
Correct.
over
It was-
Sinclair.
No, I'm grateful. Like I said at the start, it's good advice. Someone replied to me when I put a little poll out on the tweets, and they said, "Which one would you be happy to put a C on?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Dacos every day." Thanks, buddy.
Would you be
Whoever
happy to
wrote
put
that
a
saved me?
C on Sinclair, Cow? You wouldn't even put a VC on
I
him,
wouldn't
mate,
even.
after you did that.
I don't even want to look at him.
Hey, I'll tell you who else is value at the moment. The Bont.
Yes.
He is.
So, gosh,
He's purchasable.
second best player in the game at the start, price wise. 913,000.
Jeez, we
Break
spent
even
a
of
lot more than
96. Yeah, so it's as low as it's going to get, I think. So it's 108 average in his last 3 now after that 126, where he started to look a bit Bontish again.
He did.
Yeah.
Trelaw.
Well,
his
just a
teammate,
bit
could
of
you do
credit
it?
where credit's due. You still can't do it, I think, for the reasons that we didn't do it at the start. And I don't know if we're just scarred by that silly salmon.
We are.
When he did 2 hammies at once. But goodness me, he's going so well. So 154, taking full advantage of that matchup.
Yep.
Well done to him. But it's not like it's a one-off. He's averaging 112 now on the year. Like, he's absolutely killing it. It's
He
the
is.
best he's looked in years.
Where does he sit in the Roland?
Well, he's in now, I reckon. Like, he's probably rounding it out because there's people down the bottom that have been spluttering, whatever you would say, and he's probably going to take that spot.
Yeah.
Couple of dramas in the rucks. Now, ex-Airy, 57 cow. You're saying that was a tough matchup.
That's
for
a
him
tough
against
matchup
Wits.
for anyone against Big Widow. Now,
I'd got a bit ahead of myself in my thinking, though. I thought he was better than that. Tough matchup or not.
Yeah, I agree. But let's remind ourselves, the scores before that, a 127, an 83 and a 126.
Yes.
So we're going to get some good ones and some bad ones from the big fella.
Yeah.
I don't think we jump at too many things.
I thought he's bad. I thought he was beyond 57 in a bad one. I thought he was more 75 bad one guy.
So he's got Goldie this week, and Essendon are usually a tough matchup. That's with Goldie and Draper there.
Yeah.
There's no Drape. So Big Briggsy had a 94 against Goldie.
Yeah.
So should be okay.
Should be around those areas again.
Yeah.
Rowan Marshall.
Rowan Marshall.
He's ripe for the picking now.
Now, and I hate to say it, I was one of the people who said, yep, you could trade out Marshall for Sweet.
It
Can
made
you
sense.
put your patch over your other eye,
I know.
please?
I had 2 patches on that day.
That's a failure.
That's a huge bad call by me and others at the time. But the thing is, he was looking injured.
He did look injured.
He was coming off like 70s.
They brought in Hayes that week.
Yeah, everything looked bad for him. And since then, he's just stuck the finger up at us and gone, cop that, fellas.
So that's
He scored
first week.
300. Oh, no, not quite.
So the thing is, a lot of people, when he was looking injured like that,
Yep.
and then Sweetie came in,
Yep.
the cash grab of just getting a fit premium in another position for Marshall, like that all made sense. And that first week where Sweetie got an 88 and Marshall did about a 117, I could see, and I love the glass half full mentality, coaches that did it were like, no, I've still come out all right here. 117 wasn't too bad.
It is.
How about a 160?
Yeah, it's not.
That just really was salt in the wound. That's brutal.
Now, the forward line, we don't want to shop there.
Okay.
We don't. However, there could be some value if you did need to do something.
All right. But are we happy with Harley Reid there?
No.
No, I'm definitely not happy with that anymore. No.
It'd be nice to move him.
But who to?
Well,
Another
Don't
line.
say these names, dog.
I'm going to start low. You make money out of going to sexy back.
See, no, we're not doing this.
He scored 88 on the weekend. He's
Roy.
back in the team. He's got this half back role.
That he had and then lost.
I'm getting Lukosius vibes from a couple of weeks ago.
Right, can you just put him in his
He's
place?
not going to full forward, though.
No, he's going out of the team.
Sexy's not an option.
No, hell no.
Tell him. Real, so he's crystal
Don't
clear.
do it.
$505,000.
Big no.
I don't care if they were giving him away.
Don't throw your season away. Twice. For the second time with Sexy back.
Dog, I know what I know what you're seeing. You're seeing a score, you're seeing a price.
And you're seeing what the role is.
He had the role, he sucked at the role, he got kicked out of the team.
And he did his work in the VFL. He got back in the side and played that role and scored 88.
They rested people on the weekend.
Would you bring him in, dog?
It depends on how desperate I got. But, no, is there, what about Fisher then as an option?
Yes.
Similar thing.
We would all
Similar
have
thing.
him. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. The bloke was put in a vest 3 weeks ago.
At least he was allowed to play.
Yeah, they didn't want him.
He's taken the old Sheezel role.
He
so
has.
last couple of weeks, he's taken 15 kick-ins and played on 14 times.
He knows what he's doing. That's why we picked him at the start of the year.
Yep. Back-to-back tons, am I right?
Gosh, I think so.
Something like that.
So, obviously, there's a price difference, but out of the two of them, it's Fish all the way because Clarko even loved Fish's work.
Talked him up a bit.
Yeah.
Now, we would all have him
I know.
if he wasn't vested that day.
Yeah.
So he's 650K, break even of 58.
He's a lot better than the guys we've got sitting there,
Oh, yeah.
let alone the rookies.
Yep.
You just don't want to shop in the forward line.
No, you don't.
And if you are shopping, dog, you're not going to pay for it.
No.
Like,
Unless you wanted to get Zorko.
hey, he's there, Roy.
Good matchup.
Good
He'll
matchup.
be better after his rest this week too.
He'll be $1 million after this week.
Now, the rookies, there's time to sell on a few players, and there's time that we can just keep rolling through with some as well.
yes.
Some people.
Sharpie rolling through.
Yeah.
Wilson
That's
rolling
bad move.
through with.
So you've got Sharp, you've got Wilson, Roy.
Who do you have as a rookie?
None of them. I don't have any of them. I
You
got
too
Colby.
greedy.
Colby's still there.
Again,
Back. He's back again.
So, mind you, just think about the stupidity here. There is no world where we shouldn't all still have Wilson, Sharp, and Colby without trading him out and then back in. We should have all three.
We should have all three, but we don't.
No.
Who else should we have, I guess?
Closey obviously scored 100
So
on
we're
the
not moving
weekend.
him on yet.
No.
He doesn't move.
They're the guys.
They're the key ones,
Right.
I guess.
So we talked about Harley Reid. He can go.
He can go, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked good.
Yeah,
Good
he
mark,
does.
Roy. Good mark.
He could just
Outstanding.
be. He
It
could
was
still just
outstanding.
sit there as your F6 though, if you needed to,
Yeah, I want him off
because you
my
don't
ground.
want to shop.
It's a little bit of a luxury if you can do something with him, I think, this week.
Yeah, he's in my trade plans for
Is he?
sure. Yeah.
Who else? Dempsey can go.
He can go.
Definitely can go.
Yes.
I think he's definitely go. And Roberts is probably at the top of the list. So Roberts goes before Harley, for example.
Why has he dropped off so much, old? One was a wet game.
Yeah, wet game and pushed up on a wing.
Oh, he hates it there.
He does. I don't know what happened
Horse.
in the most recent, but yeah, that was the response
So
for
Roberts
the last one.
needs to
Two
go.
ago.
So at 600k, he's done a bloody good job though. 355k
weapon.
increase from now. It was a little bit more. So I don't know if you did move him a couple of weeks ago.
You did destroy.
Now moving along, other players. Well, Will Graham, we need to see whether he holds. It gets back in to the side, but it's probably unlikely. But when he's got that coin on his head, you can be putting him down. Howes as well. He's his break even up around that 50 mark, so I think he can go. He's not doing the thing, but we do have some rookies coming in,
And the
this
other
is probably
guys
the
like
key.
Cadman,
Cadman goes. Yep.
my mate Seth Campbell, all these guys can go.
Seth Campbell out of 60 odd for you.
Cash generation. Should have been on my field.
If you haven't dumped Harvey Thomas yet, that's 2 vests in a row now for him.
Yep.
He's
So all
gotta
those
go.
guys can go.
Yep.
Right, who are we bringing in, Dog?
Right, so there's a few here, and the Pies gave us a couple over the weekend. Now, Joe Richards is probably the one. He's the most traded in player. We'll talk about that shortly, but he's at 242k. Was good.
He was really good.
Did his job, didn't he?
Scored a 70 odd. It was nice. Roy, you bought into Reveal.
I did.
Breville.
Yeah, no, and he was solid as well. to be honest.
259k you're paying for him.
So the reason I went there, I just felt like there's a bit of job security for him at the moment, given their injuries. Yeah, so
Yeah, good call.
yeah.
That's why I went Freya, actually.
Yeah.
Thought they'd give him an opportunity in which he should stay in the side. He had 62. He's at 228 if you did need to squeeze that slight little
Yes.
bit of cash there. Sullivan, a lot of people went last week on. He was solid. He was good. I think he stays in.
I think so.
But, we're talking about that, and that's like Richards. He's a 24-year-old. Sullivan is a 26-year-old. The other one like that too, at 295k he's now, is Finn McRae, who was on fire. I think he had about 60 at the half. And he... Yeah, he's there. He's an option.
So
I
out of
think.
all those guys there, we have Richards on top,
I think so. I think
Yeah.
he did enough to deserve
and
that.
then Breville number 2.
Yeah, I'd tick that off.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone comes through during the week as well. That might change some things. But you do want... Hopefully none of these guys are on field. That's the other part of this, is that you are building your team around them not being there, and you're using that cash that you're getting from that little downgrade. Like for... It might be that Cadman... Go and bank 150k or whatever, and put that on top of someone's head. That can do. The last little topic before we move on, the tags, and it looks as though they're a half-back tag. So Jordan, he's done a couple now. That's James. He went to Whitfield last week and then went to Jordan Clark this week and did pretty good jobs. That's the other side of it. It's not
He's
just
good
like
at
he's
it.
He's got a
given
role.
some attention. No. It's gone and actually stopped them from having the impact and therefore fantasy scoring.
Yep. He's
So
good.
that's an issue moving forward there. So watch on him. Whitfield then copped it again this week. That was from Guelphy, and that wasn't good. I think a 70-odd score as well.
So it's happened to Whitfield 2 weeks in a row. It's going to keep happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once they've seen that a player like him is vulnerable to this,
Yeah, and
then
it affects
why
their
not?
team so much.
So
Like, that's
Guelphy, who cares what Guelphy does in a game, Dog?
No, that's why I was worried for Whit, and we spoke about it, I think, on the pod last week, because to take down the Giants is a hard thing to do. And if you see Whitfield taken out of it and then you get a win, well, yeah, now it's happened a couple of times.
Yep. So they've got the Bulldogs this week. So I actually don't know who from the Bulldogs could have a role like that.
Whit's back.
Yeah, he's back this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Then the other one was my mate Tom Stewart copped it from McEntee and even had him on the wing. It was weird. So McEntee plays Hawthorn. Probably no one worth going to there, is there?
You wouldn't think
Don't
so.
know. Anyone from the Suns want to go to old mate
McEntee.
Stewart this week?
No, you wouldn't. Oh, sometimes they use like a Holman if he's even playing.
Yeah.
He's done a few roles
He's
like
been
that.
around.
Even old mate Sexy could go on him.
He might even be
Field
named
day.
this week, dog.
Who knows?
I hope you do it. You're no chance to do it.
No way.
No, I can't because I'm making better decisions than my side.
Well
Should
done.
try it for once.
I'm
Cal.
trying my best, Warren.
Right, the most traded players ahead of round 10. We have Joe Richards at number 1 on the list, and it's a bit of rookie central apart from Clayton Oliver there. We've got Bruce Reville, Joel Frazier, and Lachlan Sullivan. So they're the guys, 4 out of the 5 being rookie guys. Looks as though everyone's trying to get some cash in some description to get someone in, and Clayton Oliver might just be the only one that people are trying to get to, but there's a lot of premiums there. The most traded out, Matt Roberts. Yes, time to go, as it is for Harvey Thomas and Will Graham after being dropped last week. Ollie Dempsey's done his work, and Harley Reid is on that list as well. Time to rock and roll. Roy, you are saying goodbye to Harley Reid.
I am. So I'm getting rid of Reid and Dempsey, and that will bring in Richards. And I've looked at Cow's Scale of Hardness.
Have you?
I want to go all the way up to Merritt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice work. I'm going Cadman to Richards, which gives me the little bit of coin I need to get rid of Roberts as well, and I'll bring in Clayton Oliver.
Oh, Calvin. You know who wrote that in the show doc first? Me. Do my exact same moves there. Cadman to Richards and Roberts to Oliver. I'd like to say great minds think alike,
Look,
but I know that you don't have a great mind.
I will confess I did just copy and paste it, Roy. You're dominating, dog, and I want to be like you.
Oh, no, I wish I was dominating a little bit more, but I'm doing better than you, Calvin.
That's true.
It's not a high bar.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy official.
All right, let's get through some questions here for the week, and we've got a lot.
Look, this has been a really good podcast so far, fellas, right? I'm very proud of you all. I reckon a lot of these questions have already been answered.
I reckon.
Yeah, let's say.
It's been
They
very
probably have.
data-based, hasn't it?
It has.
I like that.
Well,
Statistically.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
Statistical analysis.
Now, Brandon needs a rookie under 238k, just short of Richards to make my first trade to uber premium on buy structure work. So, Freya McMullen with a low break even. Shoalmaker close to a debut, VFL best on.
Freya.
Call of Manor. No, it's Freya.
Yeah,
Just have to go there.
I think he's a great pick.
Yep.
Tick. Lucas says, is Sexton an option to trade in?
We'll let you have this one, Dog.
Who
can
is a
answer
good
this.
500? Well, if not, and this is the thing, it's easy to say no. Who
It
else
is.
is a good 500k option?
There isn't one.
No, so you might as well just leave what's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you better just to go rookie?
Like who?
Like, do you play guns and rookies rather than have a look at that? Do you go Richards instead?
You're answering this question because you're the
You're
the sexy lover.
Or do you go Finlay McRae?
What's your answer? They've asked you the question. What would you like to answer?
Yes, Sexton is an option. It comes. I'm not saying it's a big, epic option.
All right, okay.
But he scored 88, mate. That's a lot more than. Who did you bring in last week?
Do you answer the question?
Okay, no, you're the one that's doing it. Who did you bring in last week?
Sinclair,
Okay, what did he score? What did he score?
50-something.
Okay, and who was your other trade in?
Saligo,
Saligo. And how much did he score?
70-something.
Right. So, my maths would say that Sexton was a much better option at 500k. And in a forward line where it's hard to, you don't want to shop.
So
It's a massive no from me.
It's a massive. If Sexton played off halfback, how did he get a goal?
Because he just ran.
When he's at his best, mate, he's running forward.
I don't think it's as bad as what you think.
All right, let's just revisit this
All
conversation
right, Billy,
next week.
track or green this week? We sort of answered it, but track, he's got the Eagles, and then do you get green after the bye? What would you guys do?
I would see Green at that price as a non-owner and launch.
Same.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's where I'd go.
I'm green over
Track-
Petracca.
Yeah, track sitting forward's a concern. Yes, he'll kick goals, but like 5 last week, that's a big day.
He's like he's had really no excuse for those stinkers that he has had.
Yep.
So, no, too dangerous for me at the moment.
Yep.
Now, Johnny, why do we constantly get punished by the fantasy gods for not picking Dacos over Sinclair? Outscored by 72 points. Blame Calvin.
Guilty as charged.
Seems like I always get the short end of the stick.
Just take all of that one.
Sinclair, 0 marks.
Marks.
Was the head tilt out at UTAS?
Well, it was bouncing off his chest. Seriously, I'm not sure what was going
his
on.
head or the ball.
The ball, sorry. I don't know what was going on with him. But, yes, apologies for flagging him as a good option. I did that too.
All right. What about, for Ashley here, Sheezel out to McKercher?
I'm ticking it.
Well, so you're obviously going to remove a rookie off the ground somewhere else there.
Yep.
And there's a lot of premiums in the midfield, for example, that are just way better than what Sheezel is going to be producing.
If he takes the role,
well,
yes.
what do we have to do here? If we know, Dog, as owners, I can't leave the Sheezel hunter out over here. So if we get word that he's staying in this current role, he's still near $1 million. We just have to move him on, don't we? Is he a bigger priority? If we got word that Sheezel is 100% staying in this current role, where he hasn't cracked a ton the last 2 weeks, is he a bigger priority than just a regular downgrade, upgrade? We're still going to get a rookie off the ground by doing this.
I guess it's feeling, are you not in love with the downgrades? Because I think you'd want to still keep playing that game.
You would?
I would prefer to keep playing the old school game of that.
I know. I feel the same. But then in 3 weeks, are we going to go listen to his cackling laughter at Sheezel being under 900,000 all of a
Still a bloody
sudden?
good player.
He is.
He played up in Darwin. I'm going to
did.
use that as an excuse for that one.
Well, okay, I like that.
Because what was it? 89 the week before. Like, we look at it and go, oh, because it's not 120 like he was doing.
Yeah, that's solid. Definitely.
He gets to go under the roof this week.
Give him this one.
I'd give him
Drop another 50.
He dropped 52, just saying. Break even 167.
I think the thing about Sheezel too is that if you were in some trouble with that round 12 bye,
Yeah,
it's a play.
it is.
Because he was one of your premiums you were counting for that week.
He is. I was just going to flick Kapow off at that point. Now Sheezel has put his hand up. Who would have thought?
He's lost the diesel aspect.
There's
to
no
his name.
diesel.
No, it's just a
He's
Sheezel
out of
Weasel.
gas.
Yeah.
He's
So
there's no
now he's
diesel.
nearly turning not to be a weasel because I don't want him.
Can you rank the weasels for me at the moment?
As in,
Like
The best.
the best.
yeah.
Like as in who you hate not having the most.
Heaney's still number one.
Yeah.
Because
The forward status
he still
helps.
gets tons and he's a forward.
Yeah.
Jack Steele, what did he have? He had a lot of tackles.
He had like 9 at half time.
Tackled his way to that big score, so that one really hurts. And as I said, 13 tackles. So when he outscores Sinclair by 70, and then Sheezel Weasel, I don't care about him anymore.
No.
He's nearly not a weasel, Roy.
Well, that's time for me to trade if he's lost
time to
weasel
trade.
status.
Especially when he's dropping in price. I'm looking at him going, I don't really care.
Don't want you
Don't want
anyway.
him.
All right.
No.
Father Chops wants this one. Are you okay with Dempsey to Richards? Yep. And then put Wilson in F6. Yes. Perfect moves. Now, then is a Roberts upgrade. But who of the following should I go to? Already have Oliver and the Boner. Now, Laird,
Yeah.
Green,
Option.
Petracca, Wines. Green for me.
Green, then Laird.
Green Laird, definitely neither of the other two.
I think Lairdy, we've been a little bit disrespectful to old Lairdy lately. He's been good.
Yeah, he's been great.
So he's gone 110 in his last 3.
Yeah.
He's under 900K.
Yeah,
that a good
right
price?
for the picking.
And his run is elite.
So who do you go then? We're still saying Green over Laird though, aren't we?
I think we have to.
Unless you've got that green plan because of the buy,
True.
which is a big part of my reason for not going there.
It is.
Have you looked at the buys yet?
You should be. It's 2 weeks away.
A couple of weeks ago I did, and I was like, I'm so confused if I'm in a good or bad position.
Yeah,
here.
I just haven't looked.
Stop looking.
Yeah, same. It's time to start looking though, you reckon, Dog?
Definitely.
All right.
No, you don't have to.
No.
You just
I think
rack
I'm
up
cool.
double-figure green vests in the next couple of weeks.
The harder I try, the worse I go. Yeah. All right? So
Don't look
You
at
might end up with a good week.
I will.
Exactly.
buys.
It'll
I
make
will.
up for your other Bad ones.
Kay wants to know, hey, legends, is Cripps a play?
Roy?
Look, he's getting it done. I was only thinking about it yesterday because I delisted him from our keeper league. I thought his fantasy days were done. I don't think we buy into Cripper, given that there's a lot of underpriced guys that I have a bit more faith in around him. But credit where credit's due, he's killing it. And if you wanted to have a unique, he's getting it done, isn't he? He's averaging 100. But no, it's a no for me.
Bo, who goes first, Roberts or Graham? I think it's just Roberts because he'll probably keep playing and keep dropping coin, whereas even if Graham's not in,
I know.
at least his price stays where it is. And if he does get a game, it's going up still.
Yeah.
Because
the only thing that has me worried, because you just mentioned the buys, in a couple of weeks, I feel like at least that dude's playing. Maybe I'll need him one of those or two of those weeks.
So he's got Roberts has a break even of 99.
Yeah, he's a high priority, isn't he?
Hayden, Roberts out for a premium midfielder. Now, is it Butters or do you go Clary for the cash in the bank? Do you just get Butters? Scale of Hardness says Butters.
It does.
Not that Clary's as bad because he's got West Coast this week.
So Butters is about 940.
Jeez, you're certainly paying for it. I love Butters, though. He looks amazing.
It's 200 odd K difference, 220.
Then it's hard to justify. Butters does have a nice buy for a lot of
He does.
a lot of teams.
Yep. I think it's Oliver just on value.
I think you have to.
200K.
Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend watching Butters this week if you do go Clary. Because
Agree.
he's, like Warren said, he's zipping it all over the place. He looks great.
Doctor wants to know, could you trade Sheezel to Boner? Allows me to go Roberts to Parrish. Big fan of his upcoming run and buy. Oh, hard to buy into Parrish after that, though, isn't it?
You're not getting Parrish. He had a 60.
Yeah, he'll ton up the
run.
next 2 weeks without a sweat.
That's where if you are a Parrish owner or got him in those last couple of weeks, don't sweat on that 60 because it should be rewarded.
He'll bounce back.
But we're not going to Boner. There was a time a couple of weeks ago we were actually saying his time's going to go. His time's coming up because that 129 last week. Before that, he's got 480s in a row. So yeah, his time. He can go during the buys.
Tell you what, credit where credit's due though. The Bone.
Oh, he's been fantastic.
What a pick he's been.
But a good matchup last week saw him with that 130.
Yeah.
Before that, he's probably averaged 80 to 85.
Yes.
In the last 4.
Which is nothing to turn your nose up.
No, it's not.
A couple of good questions. It's interesting the difference of demographic from the Instagram story questions to the Twitter ones.
Oh, yeah?
Because the Instagram one gets things like this, Cow. Who's the best this week?
Who's the best this week? In what?
Well, exactly.
Captaincy?
Well, who would be the best captain this week?
Well, I've had a quick look. I can see that Max plays in the last game on Sunday against West Coast.
Yes.
So West Coast
3
rucks
points.
usually give up a lot. Dunkley, Zorko have the Richmond matchup. So, yeah, I'll have to dig a little bit deeper. But even Butters against Hawthorn at home should be good. That's juicy.
Get him.
So who's the best this week? Let's go Butters for now. Yeah. Why not? Done.
Sam wants to know, are you happy to pay up for Nick Martin? What does Cow's, Scale and Captain say about Nick Martin?
Gee, that's a lot.
Well, they've got a good run. The Bombers have got a good run.
Oh, look.
They do. For defenders, they do as well.
I tick off Nick Martin. You have to have him.
Yeah, you do.
You just have to have him.
It feels bad
Yeah.
because he's obviously gone up nearly 200K, but he's averaging 111.
Like,
What number's he in the rolling for defenders?
he's like number 2, I think.
Yeah, he's got right up there.
So, firstly, like I'd like to answer that question with a question.
Oh, I like this.
Why don't you listen to me?
Yeah, that's it.
All preseason, could I have been any clearer?
No, you
on
couldn't.
Nick Martin.
No, couldn't have been any clearer.
Get him in.
Yep. Get him in now.
Right, you're wrong.
Harms.
North
is
Melbourne
he an
this
option? Or are his numbers inflated because of that Dogs game?
Heavily.
They are heavily inflated.
Who'd he play? The Tigers.
He did.
Oh, God.
He had he kicked a few goals too, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, and he looked great, but I tell you what, even with your bung knee, Cow, you would look great
Yep.
against them.
I would have.
Yeah.
So Harms is a no.
No, I'm
no.
with you.
Max Walker. G'day, Maxie.
If I had my way, I'd have that bastard pipe in this part of the broadcast area.
Said we need Cow Scale of Hardness. Well, rewind a bit.
Yep.
You had to find it.
He'll be there.
Does rewind even mean anything to people these days?
I don't think so. Harmsy is coming off. So that 134, he had 101 the week before, but that was against Hawthorn.
Yeah. He's killing it.
He's killing it.
He's elite.
But no.
Get him out of the team for Sanders.
That's it.
All right, that's enough for this week. We'll be back on Thursday night for AFL Fantasy Live. That's 6:15 on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. You can be watching us, streaming us there. Get your questions in for that when they get thrown out on social as well. We'll try to answer those because that is ahead of Thursday night footy, which is Gold Coast and Geelong up in Darwin. So be across all the news and be across this round. It is round 10. Double figures we're into now. Rounds.
Yes.
And that's where we are at. So good luck this week. Make sure you're clicking back to afl.com.au so you can check out it's Wednesday stock take, cows, fantasy ready, and all the other bits and pieces that happen as well, including our preview video. All right. Good luck with what you need to do and
happy trading.